And welcome to Ozarks History. This is Vincent Anderson. I am so excited that you are here with us today. We are going to start diving off into a topic of Ozarks history that I have been working on for about a year and a half, and I am so ready and I'm so excited to share this with you today. And we are going to start looking at what we've been doing with the negatives of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers that we've had the opportunity to borrow and that we are digitizing at the Baxter County Library. We're going to start diving off into a certain genre of these negatives and photographs, and we're going to go into the Bull Shoals cemeteries that were up and down the White River, all the way from Baxter County to Marion County, Ozark County, up into Taney County, Missouri. And there are wonderful photographs that we can glean a lot of Ozarks history from. And so let's go ahead and dive off into that topic. So in 1948, we had the Bull Shoals Cemetery relocation project that was transacted. In that project up and down the White River, there were 55 cemeteries. Of those cemeteries, there were 3,252 graves, and so all these graves had to be dug up or disinterments. Out of all those 3,200 plus graves, there were 20 graves that were actually reclaimed by family members. And so the rest, the Corps of Engineers, they went off and put them into other cemeteries that were already present, or they created new cemeteries. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go off on this topic and say all these graves were dug up. Growing up here in the Ozarks, as a kid, every so often I'd hear people talking about, well, I remember there was someone buried underneath. They didn't dig up everyone in the underneath the Bull Shoals Lake, or even the Norfolk Lake, which was a decade before in the 30s. They were digging up all the cemeteries there. And let me just kind of debunk all that at the moment right now. When they started going through in this project, when they had located a cemetery, the Corps of Engineers made sure that there was a cemetery board, and that cemetery board went through the graveyard and put a stake with every grave. And that stake was a wooden stake. I'll show you a picture of that here pretty soon. It was a wooden stake with a little steel, or no, it was actually an aluminum strip on it with a number. That number correlated with whether they were known or unknown and the name of that person that was buried there. Then they dug up all the graves and they relocated them. Before the dam started flooding the whole White River region and the valley through there, every cemetery board signed off that, yes, everyone has been disinterred. They've been placed somewhere else. And so no one was left underneath the Bull Shoals Lake. Same thing with the Norfolk Lake. So there's no fear of that. And so when we hear about there's ghosts on the lake or whatever from the graves or the cemeteries that are once underneath Bull Shoals Lake, it's not true. It's not true. There's even one time there was a grave that was located on someone's farm, and it was in the corner of a garden. And I'll show you that here in the next few weeks to come too. So that's literally the topic of pushing up daisies. They dug up that one also on that farm. So let's go ahead and step off and see what we've got here. And so when they were digging up all the graves, the question may come to mind, what was inside besides, the remnants and remains of the bodies? Well, we had gold wedding bands, signet rings, combs, Masonic emblems, eyeglasses, watch and fob, 85 cents in money in someone's pocket. Here we go. We have 44 caliber cartridge, a string of green beads, a spearhead. There was even a badge inside of one coffin, and it said the American Detective Association. And the last one I want to mention for children, which was very common, people were burying their children that had passed away with toys in the coffin, and for a lot of little girls, there were China dolls. All of this is given to us from an article from Dr. Michael Ellis, and I'll give you that link here at the bottom of our video here after the video. What were the coffins like when they put the remains in? Well, they were kind of rough boxes. They were not ornate, beautiful caskets, but they were constructed of pine and they were painted. We had two types. We had the smaller type and the larger type. The smaller type was 18 inches by 18 inches, 3 feet long. And the type 2 box was also 18 by 18 inches, and that was either 6 to 7 feet in length. So we had those two type of boxes to put the remains in. And how much did when you're going to remove a cemetery, you're going to put, buy an acre of land. How much does that acre of land cost? 1 acre of ground purchased for the New Friend Cemetery. The New Friend Cemetery, that would be up in Ozarks County. It was $127.60. And I am very thankful for all this research. This is from Dr. Michael Ellis. He wrote an article in Ozarks Watch Magazine, Volume 9, Number 3 in 1996. And it's a really good article. Right here is a little picture of it. Missouri State Digital Collections has that. And there is a link at the bottom of this video again. If you want to click on that, I've linked right to that article that you can read for yourself. Next, we're going to talk about the maps that the Corps of Engineers created. So they detailed the maps. The maps are not, well, the map that we have is a PDF form. It's an older map and it's a little bit older technology. And so when you start looking at the map, it's right here it is. And when you start looking at it, it doesn't have the pristine detail that we would do today. Well, that's just normal with historical documents and the evolution of technology. I'm going to go start blowing up the map and focusing on what we're going to be looking at today. On the right-hand side, you'll see Baxter County, just a sliver of Baxter County. We're going to focus right now into Marion County mostly. Right above will be Ozarks County. And you can actually see right in the middle there is Oakland, Arkansas. And we are going to focus in on the Oakland Cemetery as we proceed throughout this today. As we were actually going through the negatives, we came across this document here, and it actually detailed and listed, it itemized all the negatives from every cemetery that they took care of, which would be our 55 cemeteries here. And seeing this, like, oh my goodness, this is just wonderful. And then we can get to where the negatives are stored at and how they were stored. They're stored in these brown envelopes, as you can take a look at this right here. I have one right here also, and if I go in here and pull out very carefully, real careful like, here we go. Aha. This is what a negative looks like. I'll hold it on the edge, if I can hold it on the edge. There we go. And if you can see, there's a big brown splotch on it. Looks like somebody was drinking coffee and they spilt their coffee one morning. It's not a coffee stain. It's a water stain. And so we have to work around those blotches and stains with a little bit of technology. It's not always perfect, but we're getting through with it, and we're just blessed to have it. And so we're laying those, actually, let's just go back here one more time. We're laying those on a whiteboard. This is one of the whiteboards we lay these negatives on. We light this thing up on a whiteboard in a dark room, and then we take a digital camera and we're snapping pictures. It's not the most high prestigious technology, but it's working for us, and we're getting some really good outcomes from that. And so here we have the negative, and this is from Oakland, Arkansas. This is the Oakland Cemetery, and you can see the brown splotch from the water stain, which kind of looks like coffee at the moment. We're going to take that and we're going to turn that negative into a positive, a black and white. And here we go. And then let's take it to color with a little bit of artificial intelligence. Now with the water staining and damage on the negative, you can see that it doesn't take the color as well. So we're having a little issue for it taking color. It's just a little bit more of a hurdle and challenge. We're still working with that, but it's coming out well. But this is the one I just kind of want to focus on. This is kind of what happens every so often as you're looking at a negative or the picture here. On the left-hand side, over on the right in the middle, you'll see this little white thing, and I'm like, what in the world is that? And so I decided to write, as you can see that little circle with the arrow there. What is that? And so we decided to take that picture and blow it up a little bit and enlarge it. And this is the outcome we get. You see a little ladder there propping up and holding something up there? It's a coffin. It's a white coffin. And so they are disinterring this one right here and this grave right here. And as you can see, there's some little stakes already marked in there for other graves that they are going to relocate. And we come right back here. So that's just pretty interesting. So this is right in the middle of the disinterment project. This is 1948. This is the end of March. I believe this is March 28th. And so you can see the foliage on the trees is still a little, it's not there. The spring hasn't sprung, but that's what we've got there. And so that's our little bit of introduction. We're going through the statistics here, and I just wanted to share that with you. And so what we're going to do next time, we're going to dive in and start looking at Oakland, Arkansas, at the Oakland Cemetery, and then the surrounding cemeteries, and then we're going to work our way up and down the White River all the way up into Taney County, Missouri eventually. And I think we'll have a really good time. I didn't mention also there's one in Boone County. There's some in Boone County, the Peel, Arkansas. Even part of the town of Peel is underwater presently. We're going to be able to see remnants and pictures of the town there also, with the cemetery located in the middle of the town. I would thank you very much for stopping by Ozarks History. If you would give me a like and a subscribe down at the bottom, that would really help us out here at Ozarks History with our algorithm. And we are looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.